Alright, so this isn't really a Let's Play, it's more like a showcase of a type of game mode, world generation thing that I've done that I think is pretty cool. So yeah, first I'm just going to show how to do it, like the setup. I don't have a name for this. Hardcore, miserable, sad, underground, I don't know. Endurance. You know what? Let's call it Endurance, because I was listening to the audiobook of Endurance while I was playing it in this way, which was quite fitting. The Shackleton expedition to the Antarctic. Anyway, yeah, let's call it Endurance. I don't know. It's not the best descriptor, but right. So this is the real key. So you go hardcore. I guess you could also play it not hardcore. Yeah, you could play it not hardcore, and it'd just be a lot different. Generate structures on, yes. World type default, super flat, large biomes, amplified. Wait, yes, this one. Okay, so buffet. So this gives you only one biome. And the only reason to do this is because it gives you this option. Caves is what we want. Caves uses the generation of the nether. And let's just go with Savannah. You can do other options. I think anything with that can spawn villages is probably the way to go. But yeah, that's how you set it up. I'm not actually going to create this world. I just want to show how you set it up. And then I'm going to go through my world. If you want to just figure out how to do things on your own, it is possible to pretty much play the game as you normally would. If you want to figure out how to do all that stuff and figure out solutions to problems on your own, you can. I'm going to go through my world and what I did. So yeah, if you don't want to see that, leave now. Okay. So at the end, nothing remains. I guess I could also call it that. So the instant problem you have is that you have no light. There's monsters spawning everywhere, and you have no light. Oh gosh. So here's where I spawned in this one. Up here. So you have no light. If I just do a quick flyover, you'll notice that no trees spawn anywhere, which means that you don't have wood, which means you can't do anything, basically. You can't mine coal, you can't mine stone. The only thing you can really easily manipulate is like grass, gravel, that kind of stuff. So, if you want to light up an area, the only source of light down here, the only source of light is lava. So, what you do is you make little, or what I did, you make little rivulets of lava. Now, lava only goes like 3 blocks before it runs out, so you have to keep on like building basically like a terrace set up to get it to actually expand over an area, and you have to have multiple canals so that the light can, you know, reach and that you don't get monsters spawning everywhere. Now, as I said, this uses the generation algorithm of the nether. So up there is, at the very top, there's bedrock. You can't mine all the way up and then break out to the sky. Kind of. You can't. Kind of. So, that does mean that the surface of the world, like, it's at like 127 blocks. It's not at the world limit. It's like the nether. So the surface of the world, there's no animals really spawning up there because it's just bedrock, and animals need to spawn on grass. And despite the fact that there's no light down here, there is grass. So if you get a big enough area set up, you actually will reliably get animals spawning. And that's going to be your food, which is incredibly important if you're in hardcore mode. So again, this is why playing it in a different mode would be just, I think, a very different experience. If you were playing it in just regular survival, not hardcore, you wouldn't really care about death, so you could just kind of run around, explore, and find things. This, you need to play more conservatively, make sure you've got your food source set up, make sure everything is lit up. Now, once you have all that, then you can start exploring, start taking more risks, start going out into the world. And I want to reiterate that in this world I spawned next to lava. I played a few worlds before this, and the most successful ones were where I spawned next to a flow of lava or very near to one. Basically, if, let's say I had spawned like over here, and there had just been a trickle of lava over there. Oh wait, I would have just run, okay, yeah, so if I'd spawned over here, I would have seeing this and then run over here, because this is basically your best bet for survival is getting near a source of light, walling it off, making sure that monsters don't get you. The only other source of food, it's somewhat feasible, is rotten flesh. I mean, zombies are pretty easy to take on. Just it's a bit grindy because you only have to punch them, but I consumed plenty of rotten flesh in my day. Oh, and because there's lava, if animals spawn, you will have a decent chance of getting cooked meat. So there's that. So once you've got all this, you got everything set up, then you can start trying to break out. So I said there's no way to break out. There kind of is, though. Basically, to improve your lot in life, you have two options. You can go down, you can go up. So villages will spawn up on the surface. This is a biome that can spawn villages, so villages will spawn. And when they do, they will sometimes... No, they will. I mean, they'll, break through the bedrock. And sometimes they'll break through in such a way that you can actually climb up and out. Now, what does that actually mean? Because to get to this level where there's gaps in the bedrock ceiling and you can climb out, you have to go through all of that stone with just your hands. There are a few other things that can spawn up here, like, is this? No. Okay, well anyway, little ponds of water can spawn and that'll break through the bedrock. And then also trees will spawn with the villages, so there's your source of wood. Once you can finally get here. So you could do that. You could do as I did here. Let's see what I did. Yeah, so I went up over here. Here's where I went up. Yeah. So I just built this. This was dark before, which is, incredibly terrifying. Before I had torches, this was just totally dark. Again, one of the benefits of this world is that because there is so much darkness, there's really a lot of space for monsters to spawn. I don't know. There's not as much spawning rates down here as you would get, say, in a cave in a regular Minecraft game, Minecraft world, during the daytime. There's not really a bottleneck of monsters being forced in here, so it is somewhat dangerous, but it could be worse. So yeah, so here you see where I've punched through bedrock. Obviously, if there's dirt, that makes things a lot easier. You can punch through dirt a lot easier. And basically, if you're doing this, if you're using this method, you want to listen for water sounds or villager sounds. You get a lot of dead ends, a lot of weird areas where you can't really reach, a lot of bullshit. If you get bored doing this, you do have another option. You can go down, and you can attempt to find an abandoned mine shaft. You can also just stay where you are and create stuff that is possible to create with just your hands, like this enormous lava array. Look at this. This is gorgeous. Obviously the stone came later and this wood came later, but all the gravel and grass is possible with just being able to, punch dirt with your hands. You'll notice that this is set up to perfectly let the lava fall down. And then we have a nice light source all around, a light source in the middle. This is another pretty simple array to set up. As far as setting up an area where there's enough light for animals to spawn, but not so much that monsters will spawn. Very nice. Just a column of lava going down, and then basically a sort of a diamond or a square shape around it that goes out as far as possible before being in the darkness. But yeah, these are basically a few different lighting arrays that I found to work. This canal system, this ginormous pyramid thing, and then this just series of, I don't know, there should be names for this. Pyramid, canals, what would you call this one? Like a shish kebab? I don't know. Okay. Now, you'll notice that at this level, this is a perfectly fine level for abandoned mine shafts to spawn, but they just won't spawn out into open air. So what I did was, you see below here we have this nice little bunker area. And again, we got the lava going down. And then here's the first area I started punching through. And yeah. With this, the method is you just punch through, and you just keep punching, and you hope. And sometimes you come across a cave, you go in there, you explore, be careful and all that, but you gotta explore. I died in this world, just by the way. Even after achieving so much, and after breaking out. So, if you had been here before I put up all these torches, you would see a very narrow pathway of safety with everything kind of blocked off. Now there's torches, so everything's safe, but you gotta play careful because you have no armor. You have nothing to defend yourself with. So eventually I got lucky and I came upon this abandoned mine shaft. And then I had wood, and then I was able to mine stuff, get stone, get iron, get all the stuff you could ever want. Now, you of course still don't have a sustainable source of wood, and you haven't seen the sky the entire time that you've been down here. So, what do you do now? You could go back up and dig around the bedrock layer and hope to find a gap. Hope to hear villagers, hope to find a gap. The thing is, you could get lucky. Or you could not. I mean, let's say this wasn't even here. You still have, like, just a lot of, So, yeah. Actually, do I have a map somewhere? Yeah. Got a lot of that kind of stuff. So how did I do it? How did I do it? The Nether. I'm surprised it took me this long to figure it out, but basically once I got down to my once I had tools, I still didn't have an infinite source of wood, but I had a pretty good source of it, because abandoned mine shafts, just to be clear, the way you get wood from it is from the support structures and things. So yeah, so I had that, but I still didn't have a renewable source of wood. It's still kind of a pain to get it. So I was suddenly like, hey, I can make a portal. I can go to the Nether. It'd be a change of scenery. Let's go. Built another portal. Gotta be quite careful. Just look at this, by the way. What are the fucking chances? Like, what a troll portal. And then I was like, wait a second. What if I go somewhere and make a portal? What if I make a portal in a place where there's no space in the underground area? And thus I force it to, I force the game to put the portal up top. So, in the overworld, the underworld of the overworld, I searched around. I tried to look for a place where there was no big empty space, where it was just like a column of stone all the way up to the top. Found that, wrote down the coordinates, then went in here. By the way, I don't know if all that's necessary. I don't know if maybe if you just make a portal in the Nether, it'll just instantly put it up top on the bedrock. I really don't know. Or if you just make it up high enough. I don't know. This is just the way that I did it. Again, could have been totally unnecessary. Here we have this, which, wow, you can tell I've only used it once, but that'll do it. Because once I had this portal, I went through and up, well, up and up and up. Okay, I went through, and glory of glories, I was out in the overworld, and then I saw, nope, not that. Where's the village? Here's the village. And I saw this village, which became my home base, my home village, basically. And then, once I had that, I just dug around and found an area where there was a hole in the bedrock, and I could make my way down. Very simply like that, and then I didn't really use the portal, because I could just go up and down through the overworld. And it was a pain to go into the Nether. I don't want to go into the Nether. Yeah, and glory of glories, here it was. That was my problem, how I problem solve things. Yeah, I don't think there's really much else that I have to show off, really. Honestly, the big pyramid of lava is like my fucking crowning achievement. But yeah, this is it. This is how to play endurance. I will say it is. I think it's makes for a very rewarding experience. If you're up for it, if you like playing Minecraft as a survival game, it makes for a very challenging but very rewarding experience. I mean, I think people who play hardcore know this, and that's why they play hardcore. It just makes things a lot more. There's actual stakes, and it makes things very scary when you're about to die, and it makes things very rewarding when you finally break through the surface and see the sky. Yeah, I think it just makes for a very tough experience, but very rewarding as well. I don't know. It just makes you look at the game in a different way. It's sort of like Stonehenge, you know? Like Stonehenge is cool because it's cool to the people that made it. The civilization that made Stonehenge was like, stone was the shit. Stone was what they made their tools out of. Stone was like what endured. Wood rotted, clothes, wool rotted. People died, but stone endured. So they make all these big towers out of stone. Similarly, you could make this pretty. This is kind of just like ugly and garish and brutalist. A lot of brutalist structures here. But when you only have gravel and dirt to work with, and you can manipulate lava, but you don't have a bucket to move lava around, this is like an incredible feat of engineering. This is a temple. Goddamn. So yeah, that's why I like playing this. There's other fun stuff you can do with the buffet setting. You don't have to do this caves generation setting. I think it'd be cool to do an ocean world. I think what makes this work is that it is possible to get wood. It is possible to break out and up into the sky. But I think that's what's great about this is that if you're clever, if you're careful, if you're cautious, and if you just stick to it, you can build your own lava pyramid. You can build your own shish kebab. Yeah. There you go. Endurance.